is NEWSTRACK coming to you live from our Rayfield studio. Good afternoon. My name is Modesty Nianglong. President Bola Tinubu has assented to the 2026 appropriation bill, which provides for an aggregate expenditure of 68.32 trillion naira. The president has also signed a bill extending the implementation period for the 2025 budget from March 31st, 2026 to June 30th, 2026. The 68.32 trillion naira budget for this year earmarks 4.799 trillion naira for statutory transfer and 15.8 trillion naira for debt service. It allocates 15.4 trillion naira to recurrent expenditure and 32.2 trillion naira to the development fund for capital expenditure. With capital expenditure accounting for about 50%, the 2026 budget underscores the administration's continued commitment to economic stability, national security, infrastructural development, and inclusive growth. The allocations reflect a strategic balance between statutory obligations, debt service, recurrent expenditure, and capital investments critical to driving productivity and improving the quality of life for Nigerians. A statement issued on Friday by the Special Advisor to the President on Information and Strategy, Bayo Onanuga, further revealed that the President has also assented to the Appropriation Bill 2026, which extends the implementation period of the capital components of the 2025 Appropriation Act from March 31st, 2026 to June 30th, 2026. The extension is to ensure the full and effective utilization of appropriated funds, particularly for critical infrastructure and development projects that are at advanced stages of implementation across the country. It will enable ministries, departments, and agencies to consolidate ongoing works, enhance project completion rates, and maximize value for public expenditure. With the 2026 Appropriation Act coming into force on April 1st, the federal government will commence full implementation in line with the renewed hope agenda. President Tinubu directed MDs to ensure discipline, transparent and efficient utilization of allocated resources with a strong emphasis on value for money and timely project delivery. The Plateau State government has reaffirmed its commitment to building a modern, inclusive, and economically vibrant capital city through strategic urban planning and stakeholder-driven policies. The State Commissioner for Housing and Urban Development, Sylvester Longto, stated this during a stakeholders' engagement workshop on the preparation of the Greater Jos Master Plan 2025 to 2050. Our correspondent witnessed the event at the Millennium Event Center along Domkat Valley Road, Jos. The report.
The Greater Jos Master Plan 2025 to 2050, which is spearheaded by the state's Ministry of Housing and Urban Development in collaboration with Max Lock Nigeria and Partners Limited, is a long-term strategic framework aimed at guiding the physical, social, and economic development of Jos and its adjoining areas. State Commissioner for Housing and Urban Development, Sylvanus Dongto, posited that the Greater Jos Master Plan is designed to provide a clear and coordinated development roadmap that reflects the aspiration of the people and aligns with global best practices. Dongto noted that the engagement with critical stakeholders is key to ensuring inclusivity, transparency, and long-term success, adding that government remains committed to implementing a plan that will stimulate economic growth, enhance security, and promote orderly urban expansion across the capital.
Not for demolition. This is just for us to realign our streets so that we have good roads, we have basic infrastructure like schools, health, hospitals, and water all around without, any problem.
Director Urban Planning in the ministry, Bot Yakubu, while giving an overview of the Jos Master Planning process and the importance of stakeholders' feedback, underscored the need to revolutionize the city center as the plan, which was developed in 1975, is long overdue. Lead consultant, Max Lock Consortium, Stephen Yilse, emphasized that the success of the master plan depends largely on the active participation of stakeholders and explained that inputs gathered from the workshop will be integrated into the planning process to ensure the documents reflect local realities, address developmental gaps, and provide a practical framework for land use, infrastructure development, and investment opportunities over the next 25 years.
We will continue to interact with the course of this master plan preparation so that we know at every point what you are thinking is or what you are thinking now.
Participants expressed optimism that the Greater Jos Master Plan will serve as a blueprint for sustainable development and a catalyst for transforming the state capital into a model city. The workshop featured interactive sessions with stakeholders across critical sectors. In Jos, I am Shama Kigang.
Plateau State Commissioner of Police Basi Ewa has appealed for stronger cooperation from traditional rulers to enable security agencies to achieve lasting peace on the plateau. The commissioner made the appeal when he led senior officers of the command on a courtesy visit to the chairman, Plateau State Council of Chiefs and Emirs, and Bongom Jos, Da Jacob Kyang Buba, at his residence in Jishe, Jos. Correspondent Simon Swatka has the details as presented in our studio.
Speaking during the visit, Plateau State Commissioner of Police Basi Ewa said the engagement was to formally present himself as the new Commissioner of Police in the state and to seek royal blessings as he assumes duty. He noted that the support of the traditional institution remains vital to effective policing across Plateau communities. Ewa stressed that the police cannot work in isolation, insisting that traditional rulers and security agencies must work hand in hand, especially in the areas of information sharing and communication. On the ongoing 2026 UTME computer-based exercises in the state, the CP assured the Traditional Council that security personnel have been deployed to all accredited centers to guarantee hitch-free examinations.
And as early as 5 o'clock this morning, we took over all the hotspots. Everywhere. And each exam center has a minimum of 10 policemen, 2 or 3 civil defense, the DSS, immigration, and we are working with our local vigilantes. I have just finished going around. It is calm, it is quiet, and the exams will continue until 3. And it will terminate. For just not, the exams will run for 4 days. Today, tomorrow, and Saturday, and then Monday. For just South and other exam centers in the state, 3 days.
Responding, the chairman of the Plateau State Council of Chiefs and Emirs and the Bongom Jos, Da Jacob Kyang Buba, assured the Commissioner of Police of the traditional rulers' maximum support and cooperation with security agencies. He pledged that the traditional institutions will continue to serve as a bridge between the people and law enforcement agencies.
In modern day policing, all of us, those of us old enough to remember, the police used to roam around with buttons, no gun. But the society was okay then.
The Bongom Jos urged sustained collaboration, noting that peace and security remain collective responsibilities of government, security agencies, and traditional authorities.
The World Health Day, usually marked on the 17th of April every year, continued activities marking the day in Jos. Powered by the theme, Together for Health, Stand for Science, key stakeholders cutting across major facets of health care provision converge for a health symposium at the Odlanes Event Center, Jos. Our correspondent reports that the Health Focus Symposium, involving a collaboration between the Association of Public Health Physicians of Nigeria, Plateau State Branch, and the Plateau State Contributory Healthcare Management Agency, PLASCHEMA, tells us more.
Experts at the symposium say the campaign advocates for evidence-based policy making, trust in science to tackle global health challenges, and collaborative health approaches to protect humans, animals, and the environment. Speaking at the program, Plateau State Commissioner for Health, Dr. Nicholas Bamlong, says this year's theme cannot be overemphasized.
This, to us, is a clear demonstration of the fact that whether you are a health personnel or not, anything health should concern you. And so whether from the primary to the secondary to the tertiary levels of care, all of us are involved.
In a welcoming address, the Director General, Plateau State Contributory Healthcare Management Agency, PLASCHEMA, Dr. Kwande Dawal, said it is key to deliberate on matters that will see evidence-based decisions taken to ensure universal health coverage.
Universal health coverage has become a very important topic on policy discussion tables. So it is therefore essential that we look at the various elements that comprise the keyword universal health coverage.
The state coordinator, World Health Organization, Dr. Musa Mahdi, who was represented by Husseini Daure, says the theme is more than a slogan, but calls for action, with the state coordinator, National Primary Healthcare Development Agency, Dr. Magaji Izang, who was the keynote speaker, submitting that health for all is not a privilege, but a right that depends on quality partnership. A panel of distinguished discussants, cutting across the heads of agencies, institutions, associations, and partners, revolved around the sub-theme harnessing government and development partners' efforts in achieving health coverage on the plateau, as anchored by Professor Esther Mvulado, with top personalities like the Chief Medical Director of the Jos University Teaching Hospital, Dr. Pokop Bupwada, also present. From the Odelins Event Center, venue of the event, Yaksat Maklek.
The national president of the Ibas Community Development Association, Isa Chungwang Song, has challenged sons and daughters of Ibas land to initiate community projects that will add value to the lives of the people. Song made the call during the 2026 Ibas Cultural Festival, held at the LEA Primary School Zaron in Foron Chiefdom of Burkin-Ladi Local Government Area of Plateau State. Details of the reports are continued from our studio.
The Ibas people of Foron district in Burkin-Ladi local government area gathered in colorful celebration as they marked the annual Amok Ibas Cultural Festival, a heritage event that showcases the unity, traditions, and identity of the chiefdom. This year's festival attracted traditional rulers, dignitaries, and guests from within and outside the state. The events featured rich displays of Ibas cultural heritage, including traditional dances, local food exhibitions, and a parade of colorful Ibas attire that reflected the pride of the people. Speaking at the event, the national president of the Ibas community, Isa Chungwang Song, represented by the vice president, Marcus Pam, said the annual Amok Ibas celebration is held in preparation for the rainy season and to invoke blessings upon all Ibas sons and daughters.
It is a festival that has to do with prayer, a prayer to God for the rains and for for blessings on the crops.
In his royal address, the paramount ruler of Ibas land, Daluka Pagyang Pam, charged the Ibas people to remain united.
We do this one yearly around April, May, approaching new season of planning rainy season.
The chair lady of the occasion, Gertrude Odoala, who is based in USA, was represented by Salome Bida, conveyed goodwill and solidarity from Ibas sons and daughters in the diaspora, reaffirming their commitment to the growth of the chiefdom. The guest speaker, Professor Clement Chup of Yakubu Gowon University, Abuja, spoke on the topic Federalism and the Minority Question, Rethinking Equality, Justice, and Power Sharing for Sustainable Development in Plateau State. Goodwill messages were delivered by several dignitaries, including the Accountant General of Plateau State, Nanret Manset, Dixon Cholom, member representing Burkin-Ladi in the Plateau State House of Assembly, the Commissioner of Police, Plateau State Command, Basi Ewa, and the General Officer commanding 3rd Armored Division and Commander, Operation Enduring Peace, alongside other invited guests. A major highlight of the festival was the conferment of traditional titles on distinguished sons and daughters of Ibas land.
100 widows in Plateau State have been enrolled into the State Contributory Healthcare Management Agency Insurance Scheme to access free medical services. The gesture is courtesy Daniel Dakum Foundation in partnership with the National Chairman of the All Progressives Congress, Professor Nentawe Hilwada. Our correspondent has details.
The 100 widows that benefited from the health insurance scheme of Daniel Dakum Foundation in partnership with the national chairman of the All Progressives Congress were selected from across the state irrespective of tribe, religious or political affiliations. Speaking at the enrollment, representative of Daniel Dakum Foundation, Peter Longsar Dakum, said the foundation focuses in three areas: health and wellness, sports and education, as well as humanitarian services, pointing out that the intervention is to enable beneficiaries have free access to healthcare services in health facilities of their choice.
We believe that a key way to impact the society is by making sure that as many people as we can help them to get access to health insurance.
National Chairman of the All Progressives Congress, Tintawe Yilwada, represented by Ayuba Yirvoms, noted that the partnership would be sustained for more people to benefit from the intervention.
God has elevated him to where he is to be, and he can't live life without helping the poor and reaching out to the needy.
Director General, Plateau State Contributory Healthcare Management Agency, Dr. Dawal Kondi, said he was overwhelmed by the gesture, stressing that the intervention by Daniel Dakum Foundation is biblical.
This activity that we're doing today is a direct reflection of what the Bible says, taking care of the widows among us.
Earlier, Plastema's Director of Marketing, Teresa Gufuen, said this is the second intervention by the Daniel Dakum Foundation, stressing that the gesture will reduce the burden faced by the beneficiaries in accessing quality health care.
The first was sponsoring over 100 widows of clergymen, and I believe and have faith that this is just the beginning.
Some of the beneficiaries appreciated the foundation for turning their pain into gain. I am Gokop Timothy.
Management of the Plateau State Gender and Equal Opportunities Commission has sought the collaboration of Plateau State Polytechnic Birkin-Ladi towards promoting a safe and more inclusive learning environment. This is in an effort to fight against sexual and gender-based violence and other social vices among students in the institution. Our correspondent was on the theme of the Commission on a courtesy visit to the institution and now tells us more.
Speaking during the visit, Acting Chairperson, Plateau State Gender and Equal Opportunities Commission, Olivia Daziem, congratulated the rector on his appointment and told him that they were in the institution to seek areas of collaboration. Daziem said campuses remain critical space for shaping societal value, stressing that proactive engagement with the students will significantly reduce sexual and gender-based violence and promote culture of respect.
Honestly, but we need to create the necessary awareness that our young children would have to be aware of. We didn't send you to school to go and bring a paper. We asked you to go and bring certificates. So, sir, they need to know. I believe that when we work together, we can change the narrative.
In his response, Rector Plateau State Polytechnic, Clement Sherman, expressed appreciation for the initiative and reaffirmed the institution's commitment to maintaining discipline and safeguarding the welfare of its students.
The Polytechnic will be in a hurry to identify with the Commission. I want to give you the assurance with a great opportunity for you to come and carry out the awareness. The awareness will be for the students, and not only the students, even our staff, they also need awareness.
The visit climaxed with both parties agreeing to set up a joint working committee that will develop an action plan and timeline for implementation. In Jos, Bridget Rothschild.
The Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board JAM has released the results of 632,788 candidates who sat for the first day of the 2026 Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination (UTME) in what observers describe as one of the fastest results released in the history of the examination body. JAM disclosed on Friday night that candidates who wrote the examination on Thursday, April 16th, can now check their scores. In a statement posted on his X handle, JAM spokesperson Dr. Fabian Benjamin said candidates are to send UTME results via SMS to either 55019 or 66019 using the same phone number used during registration. He explained that candidates can currently only view their scores, noting that printing of result slips would be enabled later. The ongoing UTME began on April 16th and is expected to continue until April 22nd across examination centers nationwide. JAM also issued a strong warning against falsification or manipulation of examination scores, stressing that tampering with official results messages amount to criminal offense. The board revealed that it has already arrested 2 candidates and 1 parent who allegedly falsifying UTME results using artificial intelligence and other electronic means. Benjamin said offenders would be prosecuted, warning that any candidate found guilty of examination malpractice or score manipulation would face the full weight of the law. He added that more results would be released in batches as the nationwide examination continues. The legislative arm of Jos North local government has met with constituents to fine-tune ways of fostering dialogue and end the cycle of violence and reprisal attacks in the area. This was at a party organized for peace ambassadors held at the local government secretariat in Jos. Our correspondent has details.
Gathered at the Jos North Local Government Secretariat were councillors and representatives from all the wards in Jos North, mostly youth, to a parley to discuss and proffer solution to the persistent violence and retaliation attacks in flashpoint communities in the locality. The parley is in response to recent series of deadly attacks and reprisals which prompted the state government to impose curfew on Jos North to bolster security. Leader of Jos North Legislative Arm Job Izang said the parley is to address underlying issues of communal tensions, especially in areas prone to conflict in the area.
We feel it is important for us to get the people from various wards so that we can, together with them, look into these issues and also come out with the solution.
Participants at the parley in separate presentations highlighted drug abuse, tribalism, segregated settlements, negative use of social media, harboring of criminals, and insightful sermons by some religious leaders as major factors responsible for violent conflict in Jos North.
You wonder how the drug used to reach up to the city and they're selling it.
What is happening to Plateau State and Jos at large is not the indigent. There are people from outside that are being harbored somewhere.
And telling ourselves the truth is not what Mr. A say you clap, not what Mr. B say you clap. We must look ourselves in the face and say the reality.
I don't know how we can work on containing some of the informations that are circulating on social media that is disrupting our society.
Chairman House Committee on Security Jos North Legislative Arm Muhammad Abdullahi and Councillor representing Jenta Adamu Ward John Kelly said the legislators will develop a strategic and workable plan from the recommendations of participants and forward it to the Council Chairman for implementation. The parley underscores the significant role of the legislature in making legislations that will complement effort of the executive and security agencies in strengthening peace and social cohesion in the society. I am Gokop Timothy.
And on the foreign scene, Iran's military says it will close the Strait of Hormuz in response to the U.S. maintaining its blockade, Iranian state media reports. The UK Maritime Trade Operations Center says a tanker in the area has reported coming under fire by two Iranian gunboats. Iran's foreign minister said on Friday the Strait of Hormuz would completely open to commercial ships for the remainder of the ceasefire. Shortly after Donald Trump said the strait was completely open and ready for business, but that the U.S. blockade of Iranian ports would continue until a peace deal is reached. Trump has also said Iran has agreed to everything, including the removal of enriched uranium. Iran denies the claim. And that's the much we can take on NEWSTRACK. Stay tuned for global news at 6:30 p.m. and news updates at 10 p.m. Good afternoon.